We are live. Hello, team. You know, the live comes on. I think everybody's just hippity hoppity on, but I gotta wait. Yep, here we go. Here we go. They're all coming on. I take a sip of my gigantic bottle of water, as always. Then we're gonna get talking. We have a lot to talk about today. Remember, here at Close the Kitchen, first of all, I'm Molly Carmel. Hi. I'm your coach. I'm your bestie. Totally here, fiercely devoted to your freedom, you know, and especially, hey guys, happy post-Thanksgiving. So much of the love coming in from all the accounts. Hello, hello, hello. Everybody's coming on board, closing the kitchen during the Bermuda Triangle. And, you know, a lot of times we just sit during the, sit and just talk about, self-love, these things that are really, really important because, it's all about the food, but it's not about the food at all. But, I think during the Bermuda Triangle, during the holiday season, it's so important that we, I love you too. It's so important that we get into like hard skills. And so we are planning it today, all the skills that we're getting ready for your toolbox. And so we're at week 3. I think we're going week 6. I don't know. Point is, hello. We are going to get to formidable, marketable skills. This is what we're doing today. So let's get talking. Also, side note, I love a comment. I love a thought. I love an idea. I love to know like everything you're thinking and feeling. So please like share those sorts of things with me. They really matter. If you know me even a smidge, I'm like, when I say I'm like fiercely devoted to your freedom, it can move into, like an unequal relationship of me loving you more than you love me. And that is completely fine by me. I'm really comfortable in that space with you. So chill about that. Know I've got your back. Know that it looks like my hair is possibly taking over the world. It's very clear that the lion is my spirit animal today with the current hairdo, but we're just going to, play the hand we're dealt, as Marsha Linehan tells us. Play the hand we're dealt, which, side note, is like a great skill. Life on life's terms. Am I right? So let's talk about these skills. I'm dying to hear about your Thanksgivings. We had this pretty amazing little webinar that, thank you, Barbara, that I just want to say, like, if you DM me, I probably could get you a copy of it. It was so good. It was so useful to me. One of the things we did was like this old fashioned skill of we like made our plates. We made our plates. I have mine somewhere. Oh, here's mine. I kind of messed it up, but I'll show it to you. One of the things that we made, if you look on my Instagram, was this cauliflower stuffing that I just had leftovers of for dinner tonight. It was so amazing. Just a great reminder over and over and over again. Like we don't have to survive the holidays. We can actually thrive during the holidays. Oh, there's so much love coming in today. Thank you. I really need that. I need all the love, all the love. And the other thing about all of this is this idea of coping ahead, which is actually not what I was going to talk about today, but really thinking about how you want to be feeling when your events are over. And I think that's really where the thrive, don't survive vibe comes in, which is like, oh, good. Yeah, it's not only about the food. So many people are talking about, going without mashed potatoes. Yeah, I mean, I just ate a ton of that cauliflower stuffing. It was like to die for. If you go on any account of mine, you can get the recipe. It's quite amazing. So I wanted to talk about some skills, so we're done with Halloween. We're done with Thanksgiving. The other thing I want to say, I'll say it 1,000 times if I'll say it once, is hey, like if it didn't go perfectly, like life is lifey, that's totally okay. The point is when you're in a new relationship with food and with yourself, the difference is, before you met me, it would be like, I hate myself. I'm such a, I'm so screwed up. I can't do this. And then like blah, 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 blah. Get that voice. That voice is not welcome here. The way we roll now, we get like really curious. We get really compassionate. We look into what happened. We talk about it with other people. We look for a corrective action plan. It's like a totally new way of living. No shame. This is a shame-free zone. It's just not how we do things over here in the Breaking Up with Sugar community. It's just not how we roll. So listen. Oh my goodness. Okay. So anyway, here are 3 skills for the week. Let me get to the meat and potatoes of it. No pun intended. Number 1. So every week I'm going to talk to you about being connected because I'm obsessed with you being connected, because The data is obsessed with you being connected because the opposite of addiction is connection. And listen, I get it. It's sometimes super hard to make these connections. And then like, if you have the connection, it's sometimes super hard to like know what to do with your connection, you know, especially as adults. It's like maybe in third grade when I was like, you know, have them over for a play date, maybe outside of COVID, have them over for a play date. But here's one of my favorite ones. And I do think when you make your power circle, you know, listen, I'm talking to the Instagram and YouTube people. We have this like incredible community of people on Facebook that are just like looking to be in your power circle, you know, but in order to get people in your power circle, you need to like put your want ad up, you know, I'm looking for people in my power circle, please help. But one of the ways that I love using, I mean, it's one of my most favorite ways of using my power circle is as accountability partners, you know? So, you know, when we have accountability partners, it's like actually one of my favorite things, which is just like, we call it bookending, right? So it's like, hey, Allie's like one of my main accountability partners. You know her. She's actually who I created Close the Kitchen with. She's amazing. And our accountability last year, sometimes we do it from time to time. Now we actually haven't done it in a while. Our accountability was kitchen's closed, right? Kitchen's closed. And Allie would say received. Or sometimes I would say kitchen closed, not going to die, not going to starve to death before breakfast. And Allie would say received, and Allie would do the same. And this was our accountability. Another really great accountability is what's called bookending, right? Which is like you text or you call your power circle person before. You say, oh, I'm about to go have a really difficult conversation with someone. I'm going to call you before and I'm going to call you after. And sometimes when you call after, you say, you know, and I'm not going to eat over this or whatever you need. It's just having witness to your life and having witness to the challenging parts of your life and having witness to the great parts of your life is just like an underrated skill. And when we tend to turn to food for nourishment and nurturing, we need to find new ways to nourish and nurture. And, you know, that is like the game changer, right? And so turning to community and turning to people who are supporting you and loving you. And side note, when my power circle reaches out to me, like I would argue that it helps me more than it helps them. I mean, I don't know, maybe they would argue with that, but to truly like anytime that I'm contributing to somebody in my power circle, supporting someone in my power circle, like it really it reminds me who I am. It warms my heart. Being helpful is a really great skill. Not on my list today, but you're just getting like 3 times. You're getting all my best stuff today. So thinking about this like bookending and accountability, it's literally how we named this series Close the Kitchen, is because Allie and I are accountability partners. We're like lifelong accountability, like for life, Allie and I. Close the Kitchen for life. So yeah, we have to have each other's backs, Kristen's saying over on Facebook. It's amazing. Hi, Foreman. I love you. It's so good to see you. Okay, tip number 2, OMG. We're already 8 minutes in. It might be a long one today. Put on your wetsuit. So the next one, okay. So I don't know if you're like me, but like I need routines. Like I need so much structure and I need so much routine. Like, oh my goodness. And so if you know about me and my rituals and my routines, it's pretty high maintenance. It works really well, but it's pretty high maintenance. I journal, I meditate, I pray, I call people, I move my body. I do all sorts of things. It's amazing. But this really interesting thing happens. I don't know if this happens for you, but sometimes when things get really like tricky and when times get a little bit stressful or unknown, I will do this thing. I don't know if you're like me. I will like turn away from my rituals. I'll be like, oh, I don't have time. Oh, I'm too busy. Oh, okay. So this skill is the opposite of that, which is to say that during times that are, I'm not going to say they're trying or tricky. I mean, maybe they are in some ways, but I am going to say that they're uncertain and they're different. Like, because the holiday time, the Bermuda Triangle kind of just throws us new curveballs, right? And not to say that they're bad or good, they're just different. And they're certainly different in the years that you're breaking up with sugar and we're in a pandemic and we're without family or we're with family. And it's just a new time. And in times that are like uncertain and in times that we don't know what's happening, it's actually, and there's I wrote a love letter about this in the way beginning of the pandemic, but it's actually the time to be doubling down, tripling down, quadrupling down on your routines and on your habits. Now, this may mean being really great about planning your meals, because that will make you feel settled and grounded. This is that means like if meditation really works for you, that you make sure that happens. I'll talk about this more next week, but like, even if it's a minute, like, remember this, my loves. I'm not saying you all have all the time in the world. Please don't hear that. But I am saying that 30 seconds of meditation, of really focused breath and meditation, is way more than 0. And intention counts so deeply to your soul. You know, you saying, okay, I am taking these 30 seconds to just get mindful in the moment because I deserve it, because I need to feel grounded. There's no such thing as an unanswered prayer. I promise you that. And that, in a way, is an ask for help. Pinky swear on that. Little deep and spiritual, but that's me. That's why you hired me. Just bringing it in. So this idea of really turning to your rituals, and even if you have to turn to them in a something is better than nothing way. I mean, I promise you, this is, emperor wears no clothes over here. I've actually really returned to my rituals in the last week. And of course, I'm like, oh my God, I feel so much better. I feel so much more connected. Look at that. The journaling works. Progress, not perfection, right? Forgiveness, forgiveness, forgiveness. Curiosity, compassion, corrective action plan. It's like beating ourselves up just doesn't work unless you want to go binge more. And then it's a great skill. Beating yourself up is a fabulous skill to turn you closer to the food. And so Kristen's saying that we need to make more time for ourselves because we're worth it. And that is absolutely true. There's just some of us who literally can't find time for ourselves because we have a million kids, or we have a million kids and a big job. Like, life just gets lifey. And so, yeah, I want you to be thoughtful about how you can make time for yourself. I forget if it's either Marshall Linehan, the creator of DBT, or Thich Nhat Hanh, one of the most like famous of all the spiritual teachers. But somebody told a story about one of them where they are, like almost like that they take a vacation when they're like walking to the next room. So we can even make time for ourselves in our time for ourselves. Like, we can take 10 seconds to take a deep breath. As we're walking to the bathroom, we can really be mindfully doing that. That they said, I think it's Thich Nhat Hanh, watching Thich Nhat Hanh open a door is like watching like a meditation in action. So it's just something to think about. I just want to be sensitive to those of us who like really don't have a lot of time. Just saying. And I think, we can make time. So the third one is this mind frame idea. And, I've just been talking endlessly about it. So I appreciate you like coming along with all my repetition, but repetition is also a form of prayer. And it's like, we're just walking into some of these situations, thinking about like, what we can't have, what we can't do, why it's such a punishment that we have decided to like break up with sugar, and take control of our lives. And like, it is such a gift. And so the mind frame, Tony Robbins talks a lot about this thing, right? When he says, don't say I have to do it. I say I get to do it. I do that sometimes and it really changes. And I say, oh, I have to go on this podcast. And then I'll say, scratch that. I get to go on this podcast. It's a little cheesy, but like, also, like, if you buy it, it works, right? And I think that about all the mind frame stuff, and I've said this over and over and over again, like, you have to agree that like how you're thinking is like totally influencing how you're behaving, and perhaps there's a level of misery, and then you got to play the game, right? Then you got to play the new way of thinking game, and it works. If you decide it's going to work, it's going to work. You are more powerful than you know. And so having this mind frame about changing your lenses, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. Wayne Dyer. And starting to think about, well, what can I do? What do I get to do at this holiday party? What do I get? Like, I have to tell you, usually, I'm obsessed with the people who work with me, and I'm obsessed with my job, if you can't tell. And I was thinking how sad it was that we weren't going to be having like our holiday party, and I was really getting sad about it and thinking all the can'ts. And then I just started to get really excited about how I was going to like make these gifts for the people that work for me and make these special cards. I mean, if you're watching, don't listen. I don't want you to spoil the surprise, but it's really about shifting this mind frame. And because holidays, when you're struggling with food, can turn into like a real victim fest, like really quickly. I can't have this and I can't have that. A, you're choosing not to, but B, there are so many things that you can do because you're taking care of your relationship with food and your relationship with self in a whole new way. I'm going to promise you this. I'm going to pinky swear on my life. If you start to focus on what is working, if you start to focus on all the blessings and the benefits that are happening, and I'm not saying there isn't crappy things happening in your life and in the world. Please don't start me there. I am like the anti-spiritual bypass in that way. But if we can just focus a little bit on on some of the benefits that are happening and what we get to do, like I think about my Thanksgiving, like I was just like present and awake and I could help and I could do all these things that, over a decade ago, I wasn't even interested in, right? And I didn't leave and I don't have to be over full and I have no hangover the next day. Even picking little things and starting this commitment to changing your mind frame is going to change everything for you. But you got to play the game. And I know because like the 325-pound woman in me is sitting here like, oh, come on, it's not that easy. And it's a little bit that easy. The bank of positive thinking takes counterfeit money. So even if you're kind of fooling yourself, you'll come along eventually. That's where the freedom is. This is what I promise you. This is what I promise you. So not what can't I do? What can I do? Try it on. Let me know. Let me know. I'm always down for a good comment. I love responding to them and looking at them. I'm always down for a good, warms my heart. I'm always down for a good, YouTube follow. Really warms my heart. Makes me know I'm doing my job for you. And if I'm not, Callie. And if I'm not doing my job for you, let me know how I can do better. That's what I'm here for, my loves. That is what I am here for. So listen, we're going to close the kitchen together. It is 8:17 on the East Coast, 5:17 on the West Coast. So let's all get our hands on our heart for ourselves, for our community, for those around us, for so many people suffering and so many people suffering with food shortage right now. So bless the food you're eating right now, my loves. Bless the food you're eating. For all the food that we get to eat, we are so lucky. We are so lucky. Changing that into gratitude is a really helpful space, just being blessed for the food that we even get to eat. Kristen's asked me to repeat it. The bank of positive thinking takes counterfeit money. So you don't even have to mean it to have a positive thought. The bank don't care. Bank will take anything you give it. So who's closing the kitchen tonight, my loves? Let's put them up. Let me see them. Hands in the air. Hands in the air. Who is closing the kitchen? Yay! Susie, so great to see you. Susie's closed the kitchen. RG's closed the kitchen. Amy's closed the kitchen. And you are beyond blessed. We're beyond blessed to have you. Lisa has closed the kitchen. We are grateful. Sherry's closed the kitchen. Barbara's closed the kitchen. Amazing. Oh, thank you. I am always here for you. Thank you. Laura's closed the kitchen. Jill's closed the kitchen. Jean's closed the kitchen. Amazing. Lizzie's closed the kitchen. Incredible. Hillary's closed the kitchen. Camille's closed the kitchen. Randy's. So many people closing the kitchen. This is incredible. Lee's closing it after dinner. Amazing. Callie's closed the kitchen. Love you. Shira, mwah. I love you. I love you. And listen, Kelly's closing. So listen, next Monday, I have to have a little surgery. It's a long story. You don't really need to know about it, but I'm going to tape close the kitchen on Thursday to come in on Monday. So still come. It's still going to be playing. Don't worry. And then I'll be back the Monday after, but I'm always with you. You can't get rid of me if you tried. You can't get rid of me if you tried. Kristen's closed the kitchen. Amazing. Love getting to be your coach and your bestie. It's the great honor and pleasure of my life. Dia and Brenda closed the kitchen. And listen, if someone hasn't told you that they love you today, I love you. And don't you take that from anybody else. You know what I mean? Take nothing less than that today. So I love you guys deeply. Have a beautiful night. And I will see you soon. Okay. Bye, everyone.